5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. This is the world's finest podcast about Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and all this new digital currency stuff, especially for newbies, by newbies, for newbies. So welcome to the show. Joel Comm here with my cohort, Mr. Travis Wright.
Yes, thank you for having me on this episode that we are putting together. Episode number 6.
Is being put together as we speakify right now, and I'll tell you what, on this episode, gang, we've got some exciting things because the Bulls are back in town.
The Bulls are back in town. Bulls are back in town.
Yes, there is a bull run happening now. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to dig into how these exchanges work, and we've talked a little bit about Coinbase in the past, but you're going to hear some other words like Poloniex, Bittrex, and some others today. And we're
Release the Kraken.
Yes, the Kraken. Raise the Kraken. I can't hold it any longer, Captain.
I just can't do it.
Damn it, I'm a cryptocurrency evangelist, not a Dr. Jim. So we're going to talk about that and how in these funky little addresses, we're going to take you to Funky Town. That's your cue. We've got a Bad Crypto Extra, some extracurricular content we've created for you. That is hiding. You have to know where to find it. We're going to tell you where to find it. We'll review the top 10 for the week and maybe talk about some other stuff as well. So welcome to the show, and we're glad you're here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been an amazing week. The first of all, thank you to all of our rabid fans. I mean, it's amazing how much support and love we are getting on the intertubes, Mr. Joel Comm.
They are more rabid than a pack of wolverines. Tell me more about Bitcoin. I mean, I'll just usually I read the reviews at the end, but our 5-star ratings on iTunes just continue. And if I pull up most recent, Eric in Wisconsin said, these guys are solid, helpful for people who are learning cryptos, a lot of news reading, but pieced together nicely. I thought I said pierced together. And McCall Rollins says, thanks so much for creating this podcast. You'd be surprised how hard it is to keep up with the terminology and crypto lingo when you're new to the game. No, we're not surprised, but willing to do due diligence and dive in. After reading a starter book, Digital Gold, not familiar with that, I still had many unanswered questions until you guys were able to break it down on the podcast. It creates a safe space to stay open and curious. Love tuning in multiple times a week. Thanks. You're welcome, McCall, and thank you for the review. And
the crypto safe space for everyone.
Yeah, we've created a safe space here, so snowflakes are welcome.
Very nice. Very nice. And we got some amazing reviews over on our Facebook page as well. So that's a new place that reviews are happening, it seems, but very
you
good.
Guys want to join our Facebook page because it's going to be the place where some cool things are going to be happening, including one thing that we didn't say we were going to talk about, but I'll mention it now, BADCOIN. Okay, I'm just going to drop that right here, right now. BADCOIN, and we will get to talking about it. But first, let's move into the big news. In the last episode, we looked at what happened when the Bitcoin hard fork took place. And all of a sudden, we had this thing called Bitcoin Cash. The symbol for Bitcoin Cash is BCH. And there was a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about what would happen when Bitcoin Cash became a thing.
Did you just call me a BCH?
You son of a BCH. Well, actually, BCH is a son of a Bitcoin.
Very nicely done.
Ooh, thank you very much. Mic drop. My work here is done. So when Bitcoin, this happened on August 1st, and so everybody that had Bitcoin in their wallet, not including Coinbase and not including a few other exchanges that did said in advance they weren't supporting this, and some of them are shifting and changing now because people are upset. But most of us who knew that your Bitcoin needed to be stored somewhere where you would also get Bitcoin Cash, whatever you had in Bitcoin, So say you had one Bitcoin, you also woke up that morning to one Bitcoin cash. If you had 10 Bitcoin, you had 10 Bitcoin cash. And people thought that the price of Bitcoin would tank as a result because it's kind of like a split, right?
Yeah, it was very uncertain. I mean, I think there's so many conversations like, oh man, if we only had a time machine right now, what's going to happen? I mean, when it splits, in theory, whenever a stock splits, right? So say, Bitcoin was worth $2,500 in a stock split, each one would be worth $1,250, right? And they would go on their merry way and they could grow. But in a fork on a blockchain, it goes totally different, and it's based on the market and what we decide the value was. And Bitcoin Cash, it went all the way up to somewhere around $700, and now it's crashed down to about $230. And Bitcoin itself was hanging out around 2,700, and then now over the night it shot up to $3,300. So
yeah, just madness. As of it's just so people have context. It is almost 12:30 Mountain Time, so 2:30 on the East Coast as we're recording this
on Saturday.
On Saturday, and at 4 a.m. this morning, Bitcoin was at 2,800, and right now it's up $410. The bulls are back. Bitcoin is at an all-time high, currently sitting at 3,262. Now, when you listen to this, it could be much higher. It could be back down because this is a volatile market. But at the same time, Ethereum is running back. It's at 245 right now. Litecoin is on a run. 46. Many of the altcoins, alternative coins, of which there are many, and we'll be talking about more of those in the future, many of those are on a run, and it seems like what I'm reading, Travis, is that there are billions of dollars from the banks and the whales that were waiting to move into the space after this hard fork. And I think, I don't know, I think we might be seeing that. And as I say, I don't know. It sounds like a good time for a disclaimer, Travis.
Yes, absolutely. Again, Joel Comm is not a financial investor.
Nor is Travis
advisor.
Wright.
Travis Wright is not a financial advisor. None of what we're saying is, gospel. So do not take this to church on Sunday. We are learning.
Don't take it to the bank either.
Yeah, don't take it to the bank either. We are learning as we go, right? We are, Joel and I are really adept at diving into subjects, researching them, going after our passion.
Did you just call me a dip?
Not to your face. But yeah, so we are actually, learning as we're growing on this. We really like to dive in and understand these interesting topics. And with Joel being a technologist, I'm a marketing technologist. We're always looking at trends. We're always checking things out. In fact, just today on ZDNet, Dion Hinchcliffe actually released a graphic talking about enterprise IT and where it's interesting, all these different technologies that are popping in there, Joel. And blockchain is on growing over the next, it says 18 to 36 months. Cryptocurrency is becoming more prevalent, but there's so many of them. The world is changing. And so we're just trying to make sense of it. We're not making financial advice for you guys. We're not making recommendations. We do not tell you which of these coins to buy. We just tell you what's happening, what we're buying, what we're learning, and sharing it with you, because they say the best way to learn is to teach. So we're teaching while we're learning, and hopefully you're enjoying it and are entertained with our silly badness.
Well, and hopefully it will encourage you to go do your own due diligence before you make any investments. It's your money, it's your responsibility, and we take none of that. So do that. And there's your disclaimer, brought to you by the fine people at Acme Cryptocurrency, which is actually not a thing. But if there were a Looney Tunes cryptocurrency, like if Roadrunner had a cryptocurrency, it would be Acme.
The Acme coin.
The Acme coin. Actually, there might be one. Who knows, right? There's so many coins now. And you and I discovered how easy it is to create your own coin. And this is why you guys are going to want to check out the Bad Crypto Extra. Had an opportunity to speak with a guy that I've known on the periphery in the internet marketing space for a couple of years, and he's been following my stuff, and he wrote me when he heard we were doing this podcast, Travis. His name is Michael Taggart. He goes by Michael X, and we're just getting to know each other right now, but he's been in the crypto niche for, 4 or 5 years, had Bitcoin early on, and he's now a evangelist for BitShares, which is an interesting currency and also an exchange. And he showed us how to create your own coin, which could be traded on the BitShares exchange. We talk a little bit about this and some other things. It's a Bad Crypto Extra, and it's a video. So if you've wondered what Travis and I look like as we're actually speaking in our natural environments, Travis in front of his green screen, which is actually very green, and me in my office, in my home, we did an interview with Michael Taggart, and it is on the Bad Crypto Podcast YouTube channel exclusively. Well, I say exclusively. I'll probably upload it to the Facebook page as well. So you can either go to youtube.com/Bad Crypto Podcast, or go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Bad Crypto. Like our page, watch the video. I think you'll find it best. You are so bad. Who's a bad boy? Travis, you're
We
bad.
got a bad coin, and so just as a preliminary tease, for those of you who go to bitshares.org and download their wallet, they may be able to get some bad coin someday.
Yeah, so we need to, we need to make sure we're totally legal in everything we're doing. We don't want to get any trouble, and we're not selling it. Okay, so we'll say that right now. We're not doing an initial coin offering. We've created bad coin, and we'll tell you more about it in the future. But you'll want to like our Facebook page, because that's going to be instrumental to helping get bad coin into your hands. And you're going to want to also go to bitshares.org, and we have a link for you in the show notes. It's a special link that'll take you right where you need to go, and go do that and just install the BitShares wallet. That's all. It's not going to ask you for any money or anything. It's just a piece of software which you could either download to your desktop or just register on the website. There's a web-based wallet which actually works better, Mo Beta.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's really going to be, we're utilizing this as a lesson and a tool to help show people how to transfer crypto in a wallet from the exchange to the wallet, etc. Just sort of as a tutorial type thing. And there's some other uses that the coin can come in, but we'll discuss that in a later date.
Especially the etc. Now, I've been doing a lot of, I use Reddit for a lot of my crypto research, and it doesn't mean that all the information I read is accurate, but let's link to a few of the Reddits where people are discussing. If you're not on Reddit, it's a social media site, and there's some parts of it, just like any other social media site, that are, kind of back alleys that you don't really want to spend much time in, but the ones that are discussing topics that are relevant, there's some really good information. One of them is the Reddit Bitcoin. And by the way, on Reddit, to join any Reddit, it's Reddit, reddit.com/r/ and then the name of the Reddit. It's kind of like a forum. So there's one that's called Bitcoin, where people really just talk about Bitcoin, post stories about Bitcoin, post news about Bitcoin. And it's where I'm finding a lot of interesting information, where they're talking about potential government regulation, where people are sharing funny memes, where they're making their predictions, and most important to me, where they're sharing stories. And some of the stories that are popping up for me now, and as I'm scrolling through it, I'm actually having a hard time finding them because people post so much, it just scrolls down stuff. But I'm reading a lot, Travis, about the banks getting more and more involved in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and those that are managing funds and securities, that money, billions are moving into this space. And perhaps, I hope, because I'm invested in some of this stuff, we're seeing the beginning of the next big spike. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, it seems that that's the case. From looking at this, I think there was a lot of apprehension in the market leading up to that August 1st day of what's going to happen with the fork. Is it going to be a soft fork with them adding SegWit? Is it going to be a hard fork with them, creating Bitcoin Cash? What is the direction it's going to happen? So now that that's shaken out a little bit, there's a ton of those, ton of money, as you had mentioned, that is looking to get in, and it's looking like they are getting in. Because Bitcoin now market value.
Sure. We don't know it's
Bitcoin. All I know is that the Bitcoin market value now is over $50 billion. It is higher than it's ever been. So there's more money that has gone in. There's no doubt. But we don't know how much institutional money is going in. And I do want to make one comment about Reddit, because I have the Bad Crypto podcast. Our user there, I've created it's only cryptocurrencies that I'm following, and so there's some really good ones there. Bitcoin_cash, altcoin news. I'm going to create a multi-Reddit that is just one link, so all of these, you guys can click on this, like Ant Shares, Bitcoin Uncensored, Bitcoin Beginners, Blockchain, BTC, cryptocurrency, crypto markets, DashPay, Dogecoin, Ethereum, EOS. There's so many of them.
Right.
And
so what Travis is saying there is just about every cryptocurrency that's legitimate has their own forum, their own Reddit. And so you just, when you're on Reddit, if you want to be aware, on the right side, you'll see a subscribe button for that Reddit. Just click it. It will tell you how many others subscribe to it. Like in the Bitcoin one, 277,134 readers, and it tells you that 6,186 are here right now. Mm-hmm. And so you can post questions, you can make comments, you could just lurk and read. You can upvote and downvote various posts, and so I'm finding it very useful.
I do find some great information in there. Now, keep in mind, don't take anything that's in there as gospel as well, because there's two certain factions of Bitcoin. There's the Bitcoin core group, and there's the one that went off and created Bitcoin Cash. I believe that's how it's all is. But Bitcoin is one group, /BTC is another group. They have different philosophies based on the same blockchain, so you get different points of view and philosophies on different ones. There's been some discussions about censorship on some of those as well. So, your mileage may vary.
Exactly. So go research. You can help us. You might discover something in a story, and feel free to message us. badcryptopodcast@gmail.com, or on our Facebook page. Wherever you want to reach out to us and let us know. And feel free to ask questions. Also, our phone number. Maybe what we'll do, Travis, is I think I'm going to pull in a call. I don't know which one we're going to pull in yet, but I'll edit that in here in just to the final broadcast. We're getting a lot of interesting phone calls from you, and if you want to take down this number, it's also in the show notes. You can call us and leave a message. Be brief. Brevity is the soul of wit. Ask your question or give us your comments, whatever they are. The phone number is 708-885-9030. Travis, what's that number again?
That number again is 708-885-9030. And Joel, we've gotten 8 or 9 calls, it looks like, so far. We had one, Douglas Daniel called in. We had another couple. It's interesting because they call in and we can see it. We can see who it is. Brian called from sunny Florida. We see Brandon Kushner called from Georgia. Ted called from Wichita. Joe, he called. I don't know where Joe is from. Joseph Cohen, he called as well. He mentioned that he also has a 708 number in Illinois. But Joseph, we actually picked this number because it was in Monet, Illinois.
And we're going to play one of those for you right now.
Hi guys, Daniel from Australia here. Just want to say thanks a lot for the podcast. You've come along at just the right time. I'm just starting to learn about the world of cryptocurrency, and you guys have been a great help so far. So keep it up. Love the show. Thanks, guys.
So there you go. Call us and you might show up on the Bad Crypto Podcast.
You'd be famous.
And be world famous or infamous. So, I used a word a little earlier when we were talking about the new BADCOIN and signing up for the BitShares exchange. And I used the word exchange. So far, we've really only talked about Coinbase on the Bad Crypto Podcast because it is the biggest and most popular exchange. And through Coinbase, you can buy or sell or trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And they announced that sometime in the future, Bitcoin Cash will also be supported by Coinbase.
And that was one of the questions that we had was like, I got on Coinbase and the split happened. I didn't get any of the BCH. What's the deal? And so they did announce that sometime in the next coming months. I think it was just a technical issue. I don't really know.
I don't know.
Who really knows where that's going to head? So hopefully that all gets worked out. And again, if you do want to get involved with the cryptos, Coinbase does offer $10 free when you spend $100 off of our special link. But not only that, that's where we're going to say is once you do get it on Coinbase, get it off of Coinbase, and we're going to tell you how to do that now.
Right. So, and by the way, when you use that special link and you get $10 in Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin is at that moment, you'll get $10 worth of it. And then it could go up, it could go down. Okay. At the same time, Coinbase likes when you sign up, and they also give the Bad Crypto Podcast $10 in Bitcoin. So it's like we're sharing the wealth. Everybody wins. So you do not want to keep your cryptocurrency on an exchange. And in the future, we're going to talk about what wallets are and how you can store your currency in a private wallet that only you have the password, the private keys for. And it's seemingly complex. We're going to make it more simple. But today, what we want to go into is how to move that cryptocurrency from one exchange to another, and really the same method applies to moving it from an exchange to a wallet, because there's a lot of exchanges out there, and I'm not recommending any one particular exchange. I've dabbled with one called Poloniex, another one called Bittrex, another one called livecoin.net, another one called kraken.com, and different exchanges handle different currencies.
And also different countries, right? So depending on where you are, and again, there's going to be different laws and regulations for the country that you're in. So I would recommend going to the Googles or your favorite search engine and typing in your country plus cryptocurrency exchange, and that will pop up which ones are more relevant and for your particular area. So you're going to want to do research on that to figure it out, and then go in, check each one of them out, type in each one of their names and then type in reviews so you can see what people's feedback is, customer support. You want to do some research on that before you make a final decision.
That's right, Travis. And they don't all exchange the same coins. Kind of think of it like this. There's certain stocks that trade on Amex, the American Stock Exchange. Others trade on the NASDAQ, right? There's different exchanges, and they don't cross over. Now, there's a lot more overlap in cryptocurrency. For example, you can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and some of the other primaries just about anywhere. But there's one called Ant Shares, which goes by the symbol NEO, N-E-O, and you can't trade it on Poloniex, but you can trade it on Bittrex. So the different currencies have the task of getting listed on these different exchanges. But what we're going to get into here is you go ahead and do your own due diligence about where you want to exchange and buy and sell your currency. Mm-hmm. The sending of the currency is what we want to talk about right now.
And real quick, though, there's 4,875 of these cryptocurrency exchanges listed on CoinMarketCap. And conversely, there's only 840 currencies listed. So that's a lot. So there's a ton of places to choose. And then one of the things is check out and see how much volume is being sent through the one that's in your area, right? Take a look at that and see, because you can click on that and see each one of those different each one of those different exchanges. So pretty fascinating stuff.
Let's say you're one of those people that went through to Coinbase, signed up, got the $10 in free Bitcoin. By the way, I think they have a requirement that you have to make a $100 purchase. Is that correct?
That is correct. So once
so
you $100 of any currency, I believe, then the Bitcoin
then it kicks in. So they don't just give it to you, and they don't give it to us either until it kicks in. So you have to invest in something with $100. Now, let's say that's what you've done. Let's say you've invested $100 in Bitcoin, and now you've actually got 110, and you want to move that from Coinbase to another exchange. We'll just, for the sake of argument, we'll say Bittrex, which is BITTREX.com. Okay, because maybe you want to buy, you want to sell your Bitcoin so that you can buy an altcoin that is on that exchange. So the process of doing it is unusual. It's not what we're used to, right? If you want to take money out of the bank, there's a lot of ways to do that, right? You can write a check. What else can you do?
Well, you can use your debit card. You can go to the ATM and get some cash, right? So there's a lot of different ways.
And we understand those ways. Or, in the beginning, remember the first time you used an ATM? I don't remember the first time, but I know there was a first time. And I'm sure it was like, okay, wait, I put my card in here and there's a PIN number and boop, beep, bop, bop, and then out comes the cash. And you're like, oh, look at that. It's a money machine, right? So you had to learn how to do it. Well, I remember just, a few short months ago, sending cryptocurrency from one exchange to another and having that same feeling of, okay, what am I doing here? So let's make it simple for you.
There's a moment where you're kind of clinching yourself. You're like, no, is this going to go? What's it going to do?
Yeah, is the crypto going to disappear into the ether?
It's the crypto clinch.
Yeah, everybody do the
Crypto clinch.
I say crypto, you say clinch. Crypto.
Clinch.
So let's make it really simple and explain. Let's say we want to move this currency off of Coinbase and we want to send it to a different exchange that will receive it, so that when we log into this other exchange, what we started with at Coinbase now appears in our other account.
Right. So say now each one of these wallets are a little different, but most of them have a feature that says send/request. Most of them will have that. Coinbase has like a little paper airplane looking thing, and if you click on that, what you see is something that says send funds. Who's the recipient? What's their email or Bitcoin address? How much Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin do you want to send, and from which wallet? And then send funds. But you don't know which address and what that address looks like, right? The address is could be interesting. It's an encrypted sort of a long digits of alphanumeric and numeric digits of X amount of length. I don't even know how long they are.
I think they're 30 in length. I could be wrong on this, but basically, like an address could look like PRQ, all capital letters, 1, 5, lowercase j, uppercase z, 5, 7, 8, uppercase s. This is what it is. So they're upper and lowercase letters and numbers mixed together in an address that will never be duplicated anywhere else, that is specifically for where you're sending it. And it's important. This is essential. Listen in here. If you're sending, let's say you're sending Bitcoin from Coinbase to Bittrex, but you want to buy, we'll just say for the sake of argument, since we're talking about Ant shares, it's ANS, or they're changing the symbol to NEO shortly. What you don't want to do is deposit into your NEO address. Your coin will go poof, or it will take support tickets to try to recover it. You want to always make sure that when you're sending a coin from one exchange or wallet to another exchange or wallet, that it's like kind. So always send from a Bitcoin to a Bitcoin.
Now I want to add something here to this, because this is very important, because whenever you just gave the fictional address, it did not start out correctly, right? So like if you're using an Amex or you're using a MasterCard or Visa, you know how they start out with a separate number. Like MasterCard, I believe, starts out with a 5, and maybe Amex starts out with a 1 or a 4. I don't remember. I have a link here called Bit Info Charts. It's the top 100 richest Bitcoin addresses, and they all seem to start with a 1 or a 3.
Yes,
I don't see any of them that start that do not start within a 1 or a 3. Now, Litecoin, I believe, do they start with an L? Is that it? I don't know.
I'm looking right now. Yes, Litecoin is a capital L.
So they all are different.
Yeah. So there is a designation. So don't make the mistake. And we clenched when we sent our first coin. We want to make you unclenchable. That's a movie. In a world where cryptocurrency is sent from one account to another and you have no idea what you're doing.
And everyone's butts are clenching. Help
Joel
unrelease the clinch.
Are here to make you unclenchable.
Unclenchable.
So,
by M. Night Shyamalan.
So if I'm on Bittrex and I look up I search for a coin, and I'm going to go ahead and search for ant shares again, not a recommendation. All right. I'm just telling you. You'll notice next to it, there's a plus and there's a minus. Well, the plus means that you want an address to add to your account, to deposit. A minus means that you want to withdraw from that account. So since we're talking Bitcoin, it works the same way. If you go to Coinbase and you click on send, the little paper airplane, it says recipient. Well, that is your Bitcoin address at the other exchange. So you get that address by going to the other exchange and clicking the plus sign or whatever their mechanism is for discovering that address. You copy the whole thing. It's 30 characters. Many times there'll be a little button there that will copy it for you, and then you paste it into the account you're sending from. Then you select the wallet, and it'll show you how much you have in it, and you put in the exact amount that you want to send, and then you click send funds. Then you wait. Some currencies. Now you also, I should say this, you also, on Bittrex, you go and you click the plus sign on the Bitcoin, and this will make sure you verify the address that it's going to the right place. Some exchanges will have you say how much is being deposited, so it adds a second layer of checks and balances to make sure the numbers jive on both sides. Bitcoin is slow. And we talked, this is the reason for the fork. It can take at least 15 minutes, sometimes more, for a transaction to go through. Whereas Ethereum or Litecoin could be in a matter of 2 or 3 minutes. And some tokens, in just a few seconds can appear.
Yeah, absolutely. And now there's also these QR codes that are available as well. So we could talk about that at a little bit later time. More in depth.
I haven't used them yet. You can use QR codes and figure that out, and we'll talk about it later. But right now, just if you have coin on Coinbase or anywhere and you want to move it, here's what I did the first time I did a transaction, Travis. I sent 0.01 of a coin to another exchange to make sure I knew what I was doing, and I waited for that currency to leave my account that I was sending it from and to appear into the account I was sending it to. And when it showed up, I was like, yes, I got this.
Yay. Yeah, so there are some different mechanisms on those different exchanges, and as we just mentioned, there's almost 5,000 different ones. So if you're on Kraken, then it's interesting. You have to go to you have to click on account, or click on funding, and then click on new order, and so they're a little bit different. So that's why we say Coinbase is probably the easiest place to start, because you can get in, you can connect your bank account, you can buy some, and then transfer it to one of these additional exchanges, like we mentioned, Poloniex, Bittrex, Kraken, or if you're in a different country, you can send it over to one of those other ones. But each one's a little bit different, and so it's part of the fun. You have to kind of figure some of them out.
But do a little test. Now, there's one more thing I want to throw in before we got to wrap up today, and that is something called 2FA, two-factor authentication. Hacking is always still a thing, right? As long as there's computers, there will be hackers. And when there's money, there will definitely be people trying to hack, just like they try to hack the banks, like they try to steal your credit cards. This is nothing new. And so all of the reputable exchanges have a feature called 2FA, two-factor authentication. And I use it, I recommend you do as well. And basically what it does is it connects to your Google account, and there's a Google Authenticator app which you download to your iOS or your Android device. Authentication is used for a number of different reasons. Amazon even has an authentication app that you can.
Authy is another one, AUTHY. You can use any.
What happens is when you go to send coin from Coinbase, assuming you have two-factor authentication enabled, it says, okay, open your authentication app and type in the 6 digits that you see. And what that does, in the 6 digits, they change every 30 seconds. So it guarantees that the transaction that's taking place is actually legitimate, because you are the only one that has access to that authenticator in those 6 digits. You put them in, and then Coinbase says, okay, we'll send the money. Now, Poloniex, which I've used, Travis, has another layer that after I put in my 2FA 6-digit number, it then says you'll get an email, and you have to click the email to confirm. So I really recommend that you lock down your currency, that you're the only one that can make any transactions to send from here to there.
And then if you are on Coinbase, you go up to your name in the upper right corner, you click on your profile, and then it gives you different tabs. It says My Profile, Preferences, Security, Payment Methods, API Access. So you would click on Security. You want to verify your phone number, and then you have the two-factor authentication right there. My two-factor method is Authy. I can enable that. It is enabled, and there's that actually doubles your security. Now, Bittrex also has the email function. So anytime you are trying to transfer money, it will send you an email to verify that you want to actually send or do that withdrawal. And anytime you log in from Bittrex, you get an email that says your account was just accessed from this thing. So you want to make sure you're using tools or different exchanges that make it more secure. Now, we are going to talk about wallets later, because in an ideal world, you don't want to keep your money on these exchanges, because in the past, there's been some exchanges that have been hacked and taken down. So in an ideal world, you're going to want to actually pull those offline. And Joel, I think that's probably maybe even another episode.
It's definitely another episode. In fact, this has been fun today, Travis.
Absolutely. It's part of the roller coaster ride,
Roller coaster of coins.
There you go. Yeah.
I think we should, somebody out there that's a fan, they can keep track of all the musical references that inevitably pop up.
We got to be closing in on close to 20.
I don't know. Something like that.
I don't even know. But one thing we will do is we will do another extra. Remember, we have the one that's going up on YouTube, which is us talking with Michael Taggart in our process of creating our own coin. So that's actually pretty fascinating overall. And we ended up doing it separately, creating the coin, and that's actually all set up. But I'm going to do a separate Bad Crypto Minute, where to sort of show you how to send a little bit of this coin, so you can actually see what the codes look like, how it worked, and kind of give you an idea. So that will probably go up on our Instagram. It'll go up on our Facebook as well, probably our Twitters.
Known by those in the know as a BCM, a Bad Crypto Minute. So thanks for listening. Once again, we appreciate your reviews wherever they may come, whether they're on the Facebook page. We're at Bad Crypto on both Facebook and Twitter. Our Instagram is blowing up. You want to see some great content. Travis is managing the Instagram account, and we're seeing engagement of 20% likes. Like
some over 500 followers already, and a lot of our posts are getting 80, 90 clicks, and this thing is like 4 days old.
We're on fire. It's at Bad Crypto Podcast on Instagram, but review us on iTunes. Again, those who actually take the time to say thanks, we're not getting paid for this. We hope to one day, but right now we're doing this because we love it. This is a passion for us, and we love helping you to understand it. So iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, any of those places. Of course, if you want to donate crypto to the show, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, you'll find the addresses in the show notes. You could actually test it out. If you want to say thank you and you want to test out even sending us just a little tiny sliver of Bitcoin, you can send us a 0.001, right? And that way you can test and see what's it like to send, or just send it to yourself at another exchange. Get your $10 of free Bitcoin through the link here on Coinbase. Download the BitShares wallet. Again, sign up through the link we've got here so that you can be alerted when BADCOIN goes live. And because we're probably going to give some away, right, Trav?
We're definitely going to give some away. That's part of the whole process. Make it a learning, a learning event for people who are trying to figure this out. And that's really what this show is all about, right? We are crypto noobs, teaching crypto noobs about the cryptocurrency and the implications of it, where it's headed, talking about all these different things within crypto and the blockchain. I mean, as a marketing technologist, Joel, the blockchain to me is one of the most fascinating technological advancements to disrupt modern business that I know that I've maybe since the creation of the internet, I think.
You know how there's a whole For Dummies series that Wiley publishes? There could be blockchain for blockheads.
Blockchain for blockheads. That's great.
Hey, until next time, guys, stay bad.